Travis, my good soul. So, in case you've been living under a rock and haven't heard, Elder Holland, or President Holland, as he's also titled, along with some other titles, a whole bunch of titles, nothing to show for it. He's dead. Dead, gone, and buried. I was born Mormon. I know all the different types of Mormons that there are. I have seen them all. You can't surprise me. You can't come up with a new Mormonism. I've seen them all. I dare you to create a new Mormonism that I have not seen yet. Yeah. I'm well aware of those casual Mormons who just go through the motions, who will claim they're Mormon. They'll go through the motions, get baptized, go to seminary, attend church as often as occasion will permit, sit in the back or out in the hallway, pinch their little child so it screams, so, oh, I have to take that baby, sorry. We've seen it all. Go on a mission, go to BYU, graduate in a worthless field that causes you to only be hireable at the church. Right, Todd? Dumbass brother. My brother is a unique Mormon, of which being born and raised with him, not my twin, but younger brother, he was an ultra faithful Mormon because of the ultra strict parents. And so with his eye problems that he had in youth, that we found out after my mom forced us to go out and play ball, and the first toss smacked him in the face, went in crying. We never played together again, at least sports, because he can only see two-dimensionally. He cannot see distance, so he had no clue when the ball was coming, and it hit him. So, no play pal for me growing up. And so he spent his life reading, memorizing the dictionary, memorizing the Encyclopedia Britannica that my mom obtained for us when the salesman came along, or it might have been just on TV. It was all over the place back in those days. And so, yeah, he went to graduate with high honors as valedictorian in high school. Went on to BYU, valedictorian. Went on to the University of Michigan, a real school. They not only wanted to fail him and deny his thesis paper, but they were actually going to null and void his existence at their school. Because of the poor quality crap that BYU taught him. Do you not understand this, Mormons? I was born and raised to believe that Joseph Smith is true, that the Book of Mormon is true. But we didn't have access to the internet and the resources that are fully available to me right now. I mean, just imagine if I had the internet, all of the porn that I could have snuck in. No, I would have been able to get my answers a whole lot faster. And that would have led to a major shift in my knowledge today. Far more advanced than I am because of when I was born. I don't think Mormons fully grasp and understand this. As a casual Mormon, you can't comprehend it. Because you have never studied. You're sitting there on your couch with your phone and you're putting your little thumbs down, upset that you didn't study. I did. So you have no clue what I'm talking about. Therefore, I'm some psycho Mormon who's going to go around killing people, and you have to insult me with name-calling, bullying, threats, fake testimonials, death threats. Oh, dear God. The last death threat I got was from NoFap, dressed up as a superhero with a sword to kill me. That was a new Mormonism I had not previously known. Oh, dear God. But for Mormons to delight in evil and wickedness, to think that they're just mocking, that they somehow believe they're in secret knowledge of things that I can never comprehend because of my apostasy, that I've forgotten all the knowledge that I have gained. Oh, I've lost my testimony. Oh, no, I'm reverting to stupidity. And you never looked in the mirror, did you? You had no idea that that was a scripture, and then you just fulfilled it. You do not see the bigger picture that I see because I studied. So, Holland is dead, and according to the couch potato tradition, next week, and likely because Friday will be the 2nd, they'll have the viewing, and then Saturday the funeral and the burial at the gravesite that the family is prepared. That's the expected tradition. And then the Thursday following, which is January's calendar, Thursday the 8th, unless Oaks has changed the date because he wants to, play with my mind. I've moved it to Tuesdays, Travis. You know that. It was right after the holiday that I declared myself king. Late. Exactly. But all things traditional. Thursday at 10 a.m. Church administration, because the temple still isn't finished. Oh, the building contractor really screwed you over, didn't they? Oh no, we don't have enough money. We're going to need more money if we're going to finish this project. Especially on time. It was supposed to be 2024, April conference, that weekend. And they failed. And so now it's 2027 and a whole year-long open house until after conference, when it will then be open for the public or for the private membership. No longer with a live session. The video recording for all temples now. So even though that was fun, watching Lucifer slam the sensitive doors of the garden room. Remember, I'm a Mormon, born and raised. I studied, you didn't. I was a faithful temple attender too. Not just 100%er for church attendance and for seminary and institute. still nonetheless, I am a unique Mormon because of it, like my brother. My brother was Mr. Glass. I am unbreakable. Miss you, Bruce. Hope you're doing well. Did he finally die? Did he finally die? I recall his daughter or something saying something about him. Was that because he died? We have to know, because this is the time for Die Hard. This is the season. You want Die Hard? I give you Christmas. Best movie ever. Bruce Willis. Health, I don't know if he's alive. Yeah, he's still alive. 70. Idar Oberstein. He's a German. Yeah. This is what I'm going to be covering here in just a minute. German. Outside of the United States, unless you're in the South and you're black, you don't live as long as the white Americans, even though you are white from Europe. Europe does not have the quality of life that we here in America have enjoyed, unless you're black and in the South. Or an illegal trans-Antifa, furry terrorist communist from Venezuela. Who votes twice in the elections on bamboo ballots. I heard all of this in Southern California from my born-again Christian peers of white supremacist Christian nationalism in the 70s into the 80s. And here they are all grown up and still doing it. Dear God. Oh, man. They all should have been locked up in prison as kids, and only a few of them did. But all of the black kids got arrested. That is clear. Dear God. I still, that was hard for me to watch with Stan Lowry. What Auburn Jail Junior High did to him was just appalling. And they did it using me to do it. That just pissed me off. So, only the Associated Press covered the death of Holland that I have found outside of the church. I'm sure the local news will cover it if I were to check the church or the news locally tonight. I'm sure they won't be late on that news coverage. I noticed YouTube said if you've been abused by the church, like we've been abusing you, Travis, call this WAH line. I already reached out and tried to see if I could qualify, and no, you pretty much have to have been actually raped and impregnated by a priesthood leader in order to qualify for that group. Dear God, are you lawyers or not? Nope, we're not. And so, yeah, I have noticed as I went back, after all these hours now, that the views are dying down. YouTube is trying to rein me in and get me under control and shut me up again. hoping that all of this just goes away. Nothing to see here, move along. Bleep you, Travis. Exposing our fraud. The highest amount of views I got was 20. This used to be my normal low. Per hour. I used to have a total number of views for 28 days up into the 100,000s. Those days are gone and are never coming back. Dear God. So, yeah, as expected, 3story.com is on the ball and have made Jeffrey R. Holland a ghost, just like I made him a ghost. You don't get mad at them. I ran the test, Mormons. It's in the scriptures. We're told to obey the scriptures, to hold to the iron rod. Why didn't you do that? And so by running that test in scriptures, I found out for myself, Mommy, that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is false. And yet I still pursued finding out, is Joseph Smith true? Is the Book of Mormon true? Because that scripture test is true, and it's right there in the Book of Mormon. Multiple times. So what's going on? What's with the disconnect between the church and Joseph in the Book of Mormon? What happened? What went wrong? Oh yeah, Brigham. And so I've had no faith crisis as a result of this. Mormons are terrified that the church, with all of the billions of scandals in just the last 2 years, is going to result in their faith crisis. Oh no, the fall of the church, it's got to be true. No, I just got to endure. Just hope it all goes away. Oh my God. You know, and when something that you sort of heard from sleeping in Sunday school comes up in the news, then you cram the scriptures hoping you can find it. When the hurricane strikes, it's too late to run to the store to get supplies. They've told you this at conference. And you weren't listening because you went on vacation. You have no one to blame but yourselves. And so, yes, this is why you project onto me your anger, because you didn't study. And so that's why I'm critical of the church. To save your sorry lives that don't deserve it. Because the Book of Mormon and Joseph Smith are true. And that goes for you too, expos. What the bleeping hell? Of all people who should embrace me and go, yeah, Travis, go, go, go. You instead go, no, no, no. Because you then created your own Mormonism. And it's doubt promotion. Unless you're one of the psychos like Chad Daybell or Brian David Mitchell or Jody Hildebrandt, Anne Franks, 8 passengers, Ruby Franks, I believe. I mean, this is what results in being a casual Mormon. Prison. If you're not caught on yet. Have all of the scandals in the last couple of years not caused you to go, oh crap, I think I better start studying? How do I do it? But expos, you got conned by the church and you found out they lied and you left and you have no clue how to study because they taught you not to study. And so you're doing cliches, just like Mormons do cliches of faith promotion. You do cliches of doubt promotion. So many comments of this. Oh, Joseph Smith was a child rapist. Joseph Smith used to rock in a hat. Joseph Smith, stole money, was a criminal. Joseph Smith can't translate. Did you study? Or did you hear it from, you heard it from somebody. Hearsay. You trusted hearsay for your belief system. Likewise for you Mormons. You just have the same thing, but it's faith promoting. Yeah, Joseph Smith raped little girls. Cool, I want to do that when I grow up. And then you do, and then you get busted. Church doesn't support their own. You go to prison. Not a single one of you obeyed Nelson's change to the law of chastity, by the way. What? There's a change to the law of chastity? I never heard this, even though 5,000 of you watched my video. The good old days. So I was out of the church. My bishop was called by the Strengthening Church Members Committee. Tell Travis to pull down his video about how the Book of Mormon is so true that Adam fell that man might be. Or, why does he bother coming to church? We're going to activate him. This will force him to come back to church by deleting his video about how the Book of Mormon is true. It didn't work. I said, bleep you, and I ripped off and burned him. And I have not been burned since. Bury it. Oh, good God. Oh, how the billionaire hath fallen. But I think he's dead now. I'm pretty sure he would be dead. So I saw a freeze glitch on the camera as I click on the Google. But yeah, even though it's a cyber attack that happened to me this morning, it's a human who triggers it, because it doesn't happen every single time. It's shift work attacks. Oops. John Marriott. Whoops. American entrepreneur and businessman. And all around Mormon. Yeah, he's dead. 85. Long time ago. Oh my God. So that 60 Minutes clip, 60 Minutes clip was way back before 1985. Oh my God. Yeah, they were more respectable in the news back then. Actually did the news, as in the 80s, the Christian alt-right rose to ban the news. This is violent, this is graphic, this is porn. Oh, okay, we'll talk about grandma's homemade pies, and we'll do poll data, and we'll do roundtable discussions, and anything. Please don't hurt us, alt-right, white supremacist, Christian nationalist tradwives. We'll do commercials on how you're ugly instead, and that you can try our new makeup brand that is natural looking. And oh, you're too white. Try the tanning beds so you can get blackface. And you're so stupid, we made a movie about it. I didn't understand as a teenager. Why are you abusing women? Women don't need makeup. What? Wait a minute. Monson told women they're ugly and they needed to cover up with makeup? Monson? The president of the church. Well, Mormons have fallen, and they don't see it. So, let's wrap this up. I do not want this to be an hour or 5-hour video that nobody will watch, which is basic knowledge information that all of you should have learned. 3-hour video on my homepage that I did the night before explains the picture that is getting the most views and panicking YouTube. God. I studied, so I'm sharing the information for free with you. And so, therefore, I'm the enemy. These guys are priest crafters. And you go, oh, can I give you more money so that you can fund terrorism in Nigeria and in Israel? God, this is not the Mormon church that I grew up in. But still, church was only on Sundays, even though it was 3 hours after primary got moved to Sunday. Yeah, I'm that old. I know the change. Oh, dear God. It has not been a wonderful life, because I have no wife. And they took her, both of them, from me. Putting to rights physically what they deem is not right. Bleep you. Betrayers of Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon. And all Mormons hate me for it. We thank thee, O God, for a false prophet to guide us straight down to hell. And that I was singing alternate lyrics to in primary on those Wednesdays. As a kid. I knew when my agency was being taken, and I didn't stand for it. Dallin Harris Oaks has evaded the latest sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood. But Nelson didn't. For the curse of Joseph Smith. And so, we got one coming up in 2026. But I'm also very aware of the significance of next weekend. Right, Mons? Oh, you're dead, huh? Oh, it was in Scripture for your death, was it? Revelation chapter 12. Remember the 3-hour video you guys miss on purpose? So you can't be judged. I don't want to be judged at the higher level so that I can die. And then God will say, oh, okay, you're at a lower level to be judged. Come right up into the highest degree of the celestial kingdom. You don't know the name, signs, or tokens because you didn't go to the temple enough. But come right in. Come right in. Wait, Wait, we got an apostate alert. How do you know the name, signs, and tokens? You're supposed to have forgotten them all when you apostatized. Security! Yeah, you learn a lot when you pay attention. And you're faithful. You're not. You didn't study. So, yeah, Oakes is clearly on his deathbed. Clearly. He is weekend at Bernie's, mostly dead. And the reason why is mostly due to his tardive dyskinesia. He's taking psychotropic drugs for mental retardation. In case you knew about his mother, the psychos in Utah got him too. For that, I am angry with them, but for Oakes. Because I studied, you didn't. I know from the 3-hour video I did last night who Oakes is, and you don't. So I'm laughing hysterically. Let me read it to you. It's in the Book of Mormon even. Oops, 14. And I'm going to skip the infamous line that all y'all know. Continue reading. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like Emmanuel. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the whole earth to tremble? You notice how they call him a man. And did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness, and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the houses of his prisoners? Who do you think his prisoners would be? Oh, right, you don't study, you don't know. How about the great and abominable church of Christianity? Jesus Christ. Holding Mormons in bondage. And but thou art cast out of thy grave like an abominable. Word repetition. Branch. And as a raiment of those that are slain, thrust through with a sword. Really? Because we get those here in Utah. I see them quite often in the news. They go down to the stones of the pit as a carcass trodden under feet. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. He's a man. He's the leader of the great and abominable church of Christian Jesus. And he is slaying his own people that he was responsible for. Nor fill the face of the world with slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. For I will rise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off Babylon, the name, and the remnant, and the son and nephew, saith the Lord. Oh, he's prophesying of the coming of Babylon 100 years later, because this is literal history. That seer, prophet, revelator, and translator of Paleo, Hebrew, and Egyptian. You know, spirit. for which all Mormons deny. This author is brilliant when you know Paleo-Hebrew. You didn't. I studied. I deciphered it. You didn't. I give it away for free, and you still don't want to learn. So I have no tolerance or patience for people like that, who then act out in violence and criminal activity to put to rights physically what they deem is not right. Bleep you all. So yeah, the 3-hour video explains how, as the successor to Nelson, who was Mars, he's the son of Mars and Venus, Venus being the church of the devil. Thus, Lucifer, number 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18, as he self-proclaims himself as. All right there in the Book of Mormon. And you don't believe it. So yeah, he's near death. So I'm paying very close attention to when his fall will be. So Jeffrey R. Holland, dead. But interestingly, when I hovered over it, they have his death date. They still have his stats. But yeah, it's the dotted lines where bold lines were before. So he's a ghost. Very clever, guys. Very clever. See, these guys are faithful. They faithfully pay attention to any news about the living prophets, because this is their whole website. This is what they do. Is keep it updated, and then they ask you for money so that they can be priest-grafters too, just like their emulated leaders. Irene, there was more reasons why I was doing a happy dance than just the death of Holland. There's a lot that you have not taken into context for my life. 9/11 last year. I wake up to a dream as he is transferring authority to me. But Nelson's the president of the church. Shouldn't it be him like it was for Monson and then previously Hinckley? So I'm paying very close attention. But he too is near death. 92 years, 6 months. Rounded up. They round up. They won't give the precise. Come on, guys. So Dieter, yeah, the German, like Bruce Willis. 85 years. Bruce Willis is 70, as we found out. Bruce Willis is having medical problems and is forced into retirement. Dieter F. Uchtdorf is a German. Now granted, he was in the military, airborne unit. They treat the military better, especially post-World War II. As they all tried to forget that they were evil. Nonetheless, born just before my parents by about 5 years. So yes, he is on the Deadpool. And no, I'm not talking about the Marvel character Deadpool. I'm talking about Clint Eastwood Deadpool. Welcome to the Jungle Boys. There's our theme song. It's been a while since I've done a Deadpool thumbnail picture. Deadpool. Welcome to Jungle. Yeah, we should be listening to that song too. Spent the whole day listening to Lightning Strikes Again. So already, Oakes, Eyring, Uchtdorf are on their deathbeds. Holland is now gone. Keeping the tally? Because there's a scripture behind this, and this is why Oakes rushed to put in Clauset rather than waiting until April. This is why Nelson rushed to put in Kieran right after Ballard. There's a reason. And yes, it's rare. Holland was one such person that was rushed when he came into the apostleship, but there's a reason why now. Give you a hint, Mormons. Remember the name of the church? It's at the end of the name rather than the middle. But the middle is for the reason for the end. You never trusted Joseph or the Book of Mormon. We're Latter-day Saints. And so I've begun using the term latter days of the latter days. Because we're overtime. Just like the Dodgers winning the World Series. Overtime. Take me out to the ball game. Yeah, I never abandoned Joseph Smith or the Book of Mormon. Like I never abandoned the Dodgers. Despite the scandals. It was not the Dodgers' fault. It was not Joseph's fault either. Brigham Young lied about the Book of Mormon. Everybody believes the lies instead of figuring out what the truth is, knowing that they lied to us. Bednar is 73 years and a half. So he could still keep going. That one was a very curious choice because he was chosen young, 52 years of age. Very curious. And so 21 years ago, 2000, that would have been Hinckley. Yeah, Hinckley builds the conference center thinking that he was self-fulfilling. Isaiah chapter 4. You're not going to look it up unless I read it to you, are you? And you wonder why. Oh, whoops, wrong one. It's 2. Travis, it says 7 women shall take a hold of one man. That means polygamy is true. Why aren't you obeying it then since 2019? The word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, which, yeah, very curious that it's different than Amos, in the English anyway. So yes, as one who deciphered Paleo-Hebrew, my first instinct was to go to the original document rather than this English crap. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. Yeah, we all know Utah means top of the mountains. And so the mountain of the Lord's house? Yeah, well, it's not a mountain, it's a castle. And it's stone, though. The only stone temple. You know, like the Jews' Jerusalem temple. Stone. You don't? No, my God. Fine, then it's secret information passed on to those who have been following our faithful. Because we're talking about the fall of the great and abominable church here. It's just running a little late because Oaks got leaked saying they're running a test run for 2020 and 2021. The church is plotting all of this using the scriptures to plot it, to self-fulfill it as the enemy, thinking they're going to be justified as righteous. They've never even read the Book of Mormon. And so many people shall go and say, "Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths, and give him of our substance, and prostitute our wives, and commit child bride polygamy." As a Mormon, if you didn't know that you were prostituting your spouse by giving tithing to the church to be allowed to have sex, when other times when you're not married, you're paying to be celibate, and you don't know that that's a crime according to the laws of the United States of America and even the state of Utah, for which is dominated by Mormons. That's the whole point I'm trying to mock you with. They've got you committing crimes. You're in bondage. Isaiah warned you. Why aren't you listening? His name is the same as Jesus, of whom you say is right there in the center of the name. But to avoid the too frequent repetition of the name Jesus, Isaiah, you use Dan instead. Oh, I mean, it's the other way around. Dan, the God of Mormons. Danites? God, you're a descendant of them and you're playing dumb. Quentin L. Cook, 85. Yeah, he's getting up there. I'd have to do more research on him to see what his disposition to quality of life would be. But, you know, with the $1 million bonus he got as becoming an apostle, I'm sure he was able to improve his life in his older age. D. Todd Christofferson, 80. 63 years when he joined. And that's why Bednar is unique, because most of them do become an apostle at 60s rather than 50s. And then 74 for Anderson, and I think we go downhill from here. Rasband is also 74. Stevenson is 70. Renland is 73. Gong, 72. Suarez is 67. Suarez is from Brazil. Remember Germany? They don't live as long. Yeah, neither do they in Brazil. He is well past his prime for a Brazilian. So yes, the $1 million did him better. Karen, the Saudi Arabian, from Britain, 64. As a Brit, yeah, like a German. So he's still got some time. But Saudi Arabia, oops. That's like moving to Utah. That takes away some life of you. The pit of despair. Don't even think about it. Gerard Cosset, le Français. Oh. 62. Again, warning alert. So yeah, as much as you think that these guys are young and will live like the kings of the white man, So Cosset, Kieran, Suarez, there's 3. And so Oaks, have to include Holland, because he's dead, Irene, Uchtdorf, Cook, and potentially Christofferson. Seven to nine are near death. And you don't know the scripture, because the church purposely avoids it. They'll talk about the one I'm going to go over, but they avoid it because they don't want you to read the context. Specifically verse 22. Shh. It's a sustaining vote. So, this is why they're rushing to put people in their places. Oh my God, an hour anyway. Verse 28 of section 107. A majority may form a quorum when circumstances render it impossible to be otherwise. Unless this is the case, their decisions are not entitled to the same blessings which the decisions of a quorum are to be. A majority can only form a quorum to conduct business. Brigham Young knew this in 1838. Yes, indeed. And so, yes, this was the practice when I was helping the church with the revision of the footnotes. And then they erased it after what they did to me in 2008. And then Nelson gets up at the pulpit of conference and did exactly what they threatened me not to do to the footnotes. So I didn't. And then they deleted them. And then Nelson gets up at the pulpit of conference and oops. Error alert of a false prophet because of the footnotes that I fixed. And I followed their rules to fix them. And they deleted them because of what they did to me in 2008. That's also part of the background that you do not understand why I was doing the happy dance today. There are some judgments that are needed. And the only judgment sufficient is their own Brigham Young blood atonement. They all know what they must do, not just the 7 to 9. Take that, little kids, 6 7s. Seven, 8, technically. So yeah, this is why they include apostles in the first presidency rather than just regular elders. It's so that they can beef up the number to avoid a minority and therefore can't conduct business. This is why they rushed to put in Kieran and Cossé. They know because Oaks got leaked. And so, 6 apostles left destroys the church. And so out of 15, all it takes is 9. And the church is toast. Now, yes, there will be chaos and people will ignore this in such extreme circumstances. But they've already been long since amen since Brigham Young. But you will see it happen if the scenario happens. So just be aware. Fun times coming. Because otherwise, the following Thursday, Holland will get replaced. Because I'm willing to bet they won't wait until April this time. But again, who are they going to call?